What happened yesterday was a big mistake.
Did you say that you loved and will protect Victoriano? Then do it. End your relationship with that man. Don't get involved with Emiliano because you'll regret it.
You did not threaten me.
Neither do you.
Cassandra is the daughter of Victoriano Santos.
What?
Diana.
What? Alejandro.
Wala wanna do, na inia wala wanna milita o clue. Ataka shu, etkaro ju, angalau naeza.
Nairobi grows and Nairobi lives and Nairobi is a consumer of the people who supply its energy. And the energy of Nairobi is touts, the maize seller, the boda guy.
So Eric Omondi put out a post on Instagram where he was celebrating his achievement. That is with a post of his palatial home that was just looking fine. Now Rotimi and Vanessa Mdi's bundle of joy has finally arrived to the world, and they named this little bouncing baby boy Seven Adonolua. Now Tanzanian rap goddess Rosary has been engaged. Can you imagine that?
The 4th day of October 2021 it is. Good afternoon and welcome to KBC Lunchtime News on this World Habitat Day, and also a very instrumental day after IEBC initiated the mass voter registration exercise targeting 4 to 6 million Kenyans. My name is Njue, and Lucy Maura is our sign language interpreter for this afternoon. Now, straight to the news, the government has extended the nationwide curfew for another 30 days to curb the spread of COVID-19. Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe says the ban on public gatherings and political rallies has also been extended. The move to extend curfew comes amid calls to reopen the country to salvage the ailing economy.
PM to 4 a.m. curfew will remain in force for 30 more days as the government looks to ensure Kenya tames the COVID-19 curve. Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe says COVID-19 infection rate is still high.
There will be an extension effective today of the containment measures, including the curfew hours that are there. And this is for two reasons. Number one is that we are still, as far as the positivity rate is concerned, we are still above the WHO recommended figures in terms of a 2 weeks period when you have got less than 5% of positivity rate at a high testing level.
Over the last couple of months, calls have been growing on the government to reopen the country to salvage the ailing economy.
As we head for the Christmas holidays, we need to ensure that as many people in this country have been vaccinated as possible. It is the only way we can be able to fully open our economy, and we hope to do so, during the period that we have announced. So,
to enhance accurate reporting on COVID-19, the Media Council of Kenya has launched an information portal to provide the media with factual information on the pandemic.
While the virus has negatively disrupted society, there are still many gray areas that have yet to be cleared. We have seen vaccine deniers who have peddled all manner of conspiracy theories about the vaccine, many bordering on the absurd.
We know that in times of crisis like this COVID-19 pandemic, access to accurate and timely information can indeed be a matter of life or death.
Morning, as we mark a critical milestone in support of professionals in our media. This portal we're launching today will go a long way in making our work and the work of journalists much easier.
In Kenya, the media industry was not spared. Many journalists lost their jobs. Others were subjected to pay cuts. Dwindling of revenue led to closure of some small media enterprises and the rise of fake news and misinformation as some journalists tried to make a living. And this is still continuing.
The media watchdog says COVID-19 has come with numerous challenges with regards to dissemination of accurate information. Nancy Okware, Lunchtime News.
The county government of Kilifi is appealing to donors, well-wishers and non-governmental organizations to intervene and help the over 148,000 families affected by drought. Kilifi County Gender Executive Dr. Anisa Omar says the families can no longer afford basic needs such as food and water.
The County Gender Executive says access to food in Kilifi has been a challenge to locals. The failed rains and poor harvest has left many residents desperate.
Out of the 21 counties in Kenya, Kilifi is one of the worst hit, number 2 in drought. As we are talking right now, it is very bad. Animals are dying. You see rain only in the town, near the beach coast, near the coastal line. But huko ndani ukiingia Magarini, Ganze, Bamba, hakuna mvua. Hawakuvuna.
Dr. Anisa Omar is appealing to well-wishers to help in reaching out to the thousands of families affected.
Endelea tusaidiane, tuje pamoja, tujue je, tutasaidia namna gani. Sisi kama serikali tunafanya upande wetu, lakini kama nilivyosema, umati ni wengi, umati ni mkubwa. Na tungependelea hii public private partnership tusaidiane. So tukiwa hapa pamoja na kitu tukitoka hapa, hilo jambo tusilisahau. Sisi hapa tunakula, lakini kuna wenzetu kule wanaumia na njaa.
There we go.
Anisa was speaking during the handing over ceremony of wheelchairs and other mobility equipment donated by Rotary Club of Malindi to persons living with disabilities in the area.
Sisi walemavu tunashukuru sana kwa kupata hizi white cane. Kwa sababu mimi nikitembea, nikifanya hivi, ninaelewa njia mara moja.
The president of Rotary Club of Malindi, Conrad Masinde, said disabled persons are likely to bear the brunt of the harsh drought.
If a normal resident is suffering that much, you can imagine how much harder it is for a person living with disability, for a person who is visually impaired. And that is why we are coming here, so that they can get some independence in their movement, they can get some dignity in how their lives are, how they are living their lives. So it's a small part that we are doing, but we will try and come and work with many other partners.
Yusuf Hilo, Lunchtime News.
Elsewhere, ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi wants the IEBC to bar politicians who instigate violence from next year's general elections. Mudavadi said the electoral agency and security agencies have a duty to deter political intolerance.
Speaking to KBC affiliate radio station Ingo FM, Mudavadi said political intolerance remains a threat to Kenya's democracy.
But this trend must be nipped in the bud. It must be halted by both the IEBC and the security agencies. Because when we keep on talking about reconciliation, bringing peace to the country, even when the challenge of the BBI was there, one of the key tenets of it was that because of electoral processes that are deemed not to be fair, free and fair. So we should, as a country, and the security agencies should move very fast. Stop any prospects of either people trying to zone regions or trying to propagate violence so that they can intimidate other politicians. It is wrong.
Mudavadi said IEBC has the duty to prove that it is capable of overseeing a fair contest in 2022.
And IBC must bring out its teeth. If any politician or political people are involved in the fomentation or fomenting violence at this point in time, they should be dealt with swiftly and decisively so that we can have a free and fair election.
The ANC party leader said the youth cannot afford to allow themselves to be used to advance selfish political interests. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is targeting to register over 5 million Kenyans in the ongoing mass voter registration exercise, with the youth forming the bulk of IEBC targets. Kevin Washira, Lunchtime News.
Elsewhere, refugees in Kakuma have a reason to celebrate as the music group Kakuma Sounds has introduced a music feat representing the different cultures and countries of origin for the refugees living in Kakuma. They say though some of the refugees are born in Kenya, they have yearned for something that helps them identify with their home country, noting this form of art enables them to embrace their diverse cultures while fostering harmony and peace among them.
Music is a unifying language, a lesson Kakuma Sounds is well aware of, and they are now using this form of art to help those living in Kakuma refugee camp learn their cultures while promoting unity and diversity. Speaking to Channel 1, refugees from Burundi and Sudan say some of them are born in Kakuma and are not in touch with their history and the culture of their countries of origin, saying this is something they have always yearned for.
I have met with other tribes which I have never met before, which promote unity among us. We know each other, and also I see the different instruments which I have never met, but I only heard about the instruments, but I have never touched them.
Thank you very much, Kakuma Sound, for what you are doing, because if you continue like this, I'm sure in the future you'll be having a camp where there's no violence, where there's no people who are involved in drug abuse or alcohol.
The group CEO of Kakuma Sound, Trainer Tumwa, says the initiative seeks to ensure all refugees coexist harmoniously while also ensuring they embrace the values and cultures of their different countries and pass on the same to their descendants.
The Kakuma Sound is to bring all instruments from different countries in refugee camps so that they can conserve their culture, and through that is the only way that Kakuma refugee people will have peace.
Caroline Kamau reporting for Channel 1 Lunchtime News.
Now, a family in Kariari village in Mbere South, Embu County is crying for justice following the death of their kin in a motorcycle accident. The family alleges that Dorcas Musheru Kidaka died at the hands of an unlicensed boda operator.
An emotional send-off in Kariari village in Mbere South. Friends and family still struggling to come to terms with the death of Dorcas Musheru Kidaka, whose life was cut short by a grisly boda accident. Her family crying for justice.
Ni pale kwa soko ya inaitwa ya Kiambere New Site. Na palikuwa na watu wengi siku ile, na ile kijana alimpiga akamfunja miguu, mikono, na hata kichwa alikuwa amepigwa, damu ilikuwa inatoka na kwa masikio. Hakuna watu yoyote ilichukuliwa na serikali,
na inaonekana hii maneno inajaribu kukanyangiwa chini, lakini tunaomba serikali iliyoko kwa mamlaka sahihi isaidie ili haki ya mnyonge iweze kupatikana.
Area Assistant Chief Mary Ibara is urging anyone with useful information concerning the death of Dorcas to assist the police with investigations, even as she sent a stern warning to unlicensed boda operators.
Hii ni police case na tunajua vizuri kama hakuna mashahidi hatutasaidika. Tafadhali njitolee. Hakuna vile atukijitokeza kama wewe ni shahidi utawekwa ndani.
The deceased, who was the sole breadwinner, has left her children in desperate need of help, with her family now calling on well-wishers to intervene.
serikali ichukue hatua na ili iweze kufuata ukweli upatikane, ili watoto hawa wapate haki yao, kwa sababu wameachwa bila mama na waku wametarajia. Kuna mtoto wako kidato cha 3 anahitaji karo ya shule.
For Lunchtime News, I'm Safin Aching Oma.
Bonchari Member of Parliament Pavel Oimeke has called for the allocation of more funds to the bursary kit to enable it meet the growing number of students in need of financial support. Oimeke says increasing the fund by at least 10 million shillings will go a long way in bridging the growing deficit.
Constituency Development Fund has been hailed as a game changer in the provision of uninterrupted learning in the country. Every year, the government spends 130 million shillings per constituency, with a fraction of this amount going to bursaries. Calls are, however, growing on the need for the government to allocate more funds to the kitty.
We are requesting that the amount to be higher to even 50 million to help more students who are in school to cater for their fees.
Bonchari MP Pavel Oimeke says CDF has boosted learning in the region, urging beneficiaries to concentrate in school.
Wakati huu tunaona basari ikipeanwa kwa kila mtu, kwa kila yule wa kiwango cha chini na hata kiwango chochote kile.
Beneficiaries are calling on stakeholders to ensure the fund is devoid of political interests. Yusufar reporting for Lunchtime News.
Thanks, Farah, for that. And from that report by Yusufara, we are now crossing over to the National Geospatial Data Center, where the Ministry of Lands is in efforts to ensure that all land processes are digitized. Let's cross over for more.
Thank you very much, Ben Troy Njue, back at the broadcasting house. We're coming to you live from the National Geospatial Data Center, and this is the nerve center of land operations and titling in the country. Obviously, moving from the manual registration of title deeds from Ardhi House, and this will be the nerve center. This center was launched by President Uhuru Kenyatta in April this year, and the operations have been ongoing. Remember, there is the process of digitization was mooted under the reign of Amos Kimunya when he was Minister for Lands, and now in 2018 under Cabinet Secretary Farida Karone is when the process took off. Quite interesting. You will realize that under President Uhuru Kenyatta's tenure, he's been able to process 5.2 million title deeds that have been issued to respective owners of parcels of land. And the other title deeds, because Kenya has a total of or approximately 12 million title deeds. That means that if President Uhuru Kenyatta has issued 5.2 million title deeds under his reign, then that means the colonial government, together with the other 3 administrations that have come after him, President Jomo Kenyatta, or rather before him, sorry for that, President Jomo Kenyatta, President Daniel Arap Moi, President Mwai Kibaki, issued the other 6 million title deeds. Nearly 6 million title deeds have been issued under the reign of President Uhuru Kenyatta. So what we were here to do generally is to assess, the process of digitization. And as it were, 90% of the process is complete in Nairobi, the Nairobi registry, as well as the central registry. And that means then that the Ministry of Lands will move to the other counties. Murang'a County is in the process. And that means then the other metropolitan counties like Kajiado, Machakos, and Kiambu will be the next beneficiaries of the digitization of a process. They target by the year 2022, the month of June. That is when this financial year ends. They'll have done 23 counties in terms of digitizing their land records. And then after that, probably another 10 counties that will make 33 by the time President Uhuru Kenyatta exits from power in the year 2022. They will not be able to have covered the 47 counties, but then 33. Probably, according to CS Farida Karone, is a fair bet. Quite interestingly, as I wind up Ben Troy, the process of acquiring a title deeds is a process that will take 24 hours moving forward. Once the digitization process is complete, it will only take you 24 hours to acquire yourself a title deed. The process of a search, for example, if you were to search for a title, to search for land, if you wanted to buy a land and for the transaction to happen, you would probably need 3 months for you to do just a search for a title deed to know whether the person you're buying from is the legitimate owner of that title deed. It would take you about 3 months to get results back. Right now, it's just a matter of 3 minutes, at most 5 minutes, and you've gotten the legitimate owner of that title deed. And therefore the process has been eased, and of course removing the bulk of that work from Ardhi House to the National Geospatial Data Center. We don't have more details for you because obviously we'll be updating the country as regards this entire process, 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. bulletins. So be sure to catch up with that. Right now, back to you, Ben Troy, at Broadcasting House.
Thank you so much, JJ Kyoria, there from the National Geospatial Data Center. They are giving us an update, and quite interesting is that within 24 hours, a lot as such, and everything will only take 3 minutes, but in 24 hours, you can do a lot after the digitization of the land processes there. And actually, Nairobi registry is done and dusted, and now they will be heading to other counties to ensure before these government is done, they have been able to digitize all the land registries in all the 47 counties. More, as Kyoria has said, in our subsequent bulletin. Moving on, a row has erupted in Kimuka, Ngong area of Kajiado County over the ownership of a 2,500-acre piece of land. 1,600 families who claim ownership of the said parcel allege that some unscrupulous individuals are attempting to eject them from the area.
Pata wametuzaa hapa, wamejenga huku, wametusomesha huku. Tunalia, watoto wamezaliwa huku, kina mama wako huku, kila mtu yuko huku, na tuko na mashamba zetu. We have original titles, genuine titles.
According to the families, the parcel of land which borders the 728-acre piece of land belonging to Kenya Defence Forces shooting range grounds has been encroached by some individuals claiming to be KDF officials who have allegedly purported to have legal documents.
Hawa watu wanaoishi hapa wamelelea watoto wao hapa, wameuza hizi mashamba, tumechukua loans kupitia hizi mashamba. Serikali ya Kenya bado ndio ilikuwa inatupatia hizo loans kupitia Agricultural Finance Corporation. Tumeenda banks zetu, lakini leo tunaamkia kuambiwa kwamba shamba yenye umekuwa ukikalia ni shamba ya jeshi.
Hivi punde wiki mbili iliyopita ndio alikuja kusema kwamba shamba lao ni kubwa, wakalete stakabadhi ambazo ni tunasema stakabadhi gushi.
Kinatushangaza ni kuwa kwa kila wakati unapoenda kununua shamba mpaka uangalie na uhakikishe, unaenda search na unaangalia, unaona umenunua shamba ya haki. Tulifuatilia mara kadhaa na ni serikali hii yetu ilitupatia hizo titles.
The residents now question where the individuals have been over the years since the 2,500-acre Tashat scheme was gazetted as communal land before it was divided among its members. They are now appealing to the government to intervene and save them the anguish of losing what they claim is their ancestral land.
Wenye tumezaliwa hapa, tukalelea watoto wetu hapa, na maisha yetu yote inaangalia hapa, wanataka twende wapi?
Kuruch ujatrespass shamba ya mtu. Tunaomba governor wetu, tunaomba area MP and even the president of this nation. Sisi tunakuomba sana kwamba mtutetee, msije mkatuonyesha unyama ambayo hatujaiona sisi tangu tuzaliwe.
Haki yetu tutapata kotini, maana koti ni mkono moja katika serikali nchi yetu ya Kenya ya kupigania haki ya mnyonge.
Reporting for Lunchtime News, I'm Jackie Wambiru.
Moving on, the mass voter registration exercise has kicked off with a clarion call on all eligible voters to register. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is targeting to enlist at least 6 million new voters.
The ongoing mass voter registration exercise has been dubbed as one of the most significant exercises in this electioneering period. IEBC will in the next 30 days look to ensure 6 new voters are enlisted in its database. In Narok County, IEBC is targeting 70,000 new voters.
We are urging all of us so that we can encourage one person, encourage two, encourage three, so that we can meet our targets, which is 78,569 eligible voters who are out there and they have not been registered.
All eligible Kenyans are being urged to register as voters to enable them fulfill their legal mandate.
And we're urging the members of the public everybody, young men and women, the elderly, people living with disabilities, and everybody who has not registered as a voter to come out and register.
The official launch of the exercise took place in Nakuru County. Jacqueline Masharia for Lunchtime News.
Now, exclusive breastfeeding has been proven to be one of the best ways of providing abundant and easily absorbed nutrients and live antibodies from mother to child. But what if a mother cannot produce breast milk? Well, a revolutionary idea at the Pumwani Maternity Hospital is bridging this gap, saving the lives of thousands of new babies. KBC's Mari Yambo spent some time with donors and beneficiaries of the Human Milk Bank and sought to know how it operates.
The largest maternity hospital in Kenya, Pumwani Maternity Hospital, is probably the busiest, delivering over 60 babies each day. It is here that I find Mary Awor, a mother of 4, who recently delivered preterm twins, Elizabeth Agatha and Maria.
Vile nilikuwa huko Nasari, nilikuwa na maziwa ya kutosha. Sasa vile nilianza stress, nikukumbuka mambo za nyumbani, watoto wenye wako kwa nyumba, bwana pia hana kazi, hawezi enda kazi vizuri, juu ako na watoto wengine. Sasa nilishikwa na stress, hata sikuwa na weza toa maziwa ya kutosha watoto wawili.
Luckily for Mary, the hospital is equipped with a human milk bank supplied by mothers just like her.
Sasa nilikaa for 2 days kama sijakubali nipewe hiyo maziwa. Sasa hiyo siku nilikuwa napewa maziwa, watoto walikuwa na njaa sana. Nikasema wacha tu niende nichukue hii maziwa, juu kama wamama wengine wanachukua hii maziwa na watoto wako wako sawa, si mimi pia niende nichukue hii maziwa, inaweza saidia watoto wangu.
Preterm babies are more susceptible to infections that could prove fatal, but which can be prevented through breastfeeding. Kezia Njue is a nurse and counselor at the newborn unit.
Preterm babies are the ones who are exposed to a bowel condition that is called neck. The bowel movement is affected, and that is the most reason why the preterm babies don't make it.
Does it mean anybody can come and donate, or where do you get your donors from?
So basically our donors are inpatient mothers are the ones who donate the milk, and it's a completely voluntary service.
Sadia Fataha was once a beneficiary but now donates to the bank.
Unakuja kudonate tena?
Mama wengine unazaa, unarusha mtoto, anaenda anaokotwa, saa analetwa hapa. Kuletwa hapa unajua kuna mama wa kumpea maziwa. Ile hati na kushika sana, unapata unakuja unadonate maziwa. Wanafurahia sana. Kuona zinaweza kuwa mama mwingine, yani naweza itwa mama na watoto wengi.
After collection in sterilized bottles, the milk is labeled for ease of tracking before it undergoes quality control and assurance process to ensure it is safe for consumption. The milk can be preserved for up to 3 months for preterm milk and 6 months for term milk. So then how do you know how much to prescribe? You know, I understand you prescribe it just the way you can prescribe medicine.
The clinician will calculate the baby's feeds according to the baby's weight. And from there, we are able to know how much to give the baby.
The Human Milk Bank is just one of the measures to reduce the number of infants dying in the first 28 days of life. The neonatal death rate in the country stands at 22 deaths in every 1,000 live births as per the 2014 Kenya Demographic and Health Survey. The aim is to reduce the infant death rate to 10 per 1,000 live births by 2035. For Mary and other mothers, they cannot be any happier than seeing their babies grow healthy and strong.
Sasa vile walianza kunipea hiyo maziwa, watoto walianza kuongeza kilo. Juu niliingia hapa kwa KMC, first twin alikuwa na 1.2 na second twin alikuwa na 900 grams. Sasa vile nilianza kupewa hiyo maziwa, naona change. Wameongeza kilo, first twin sasa yako 1.5, huyo mwingine ako 1.3.
At about 1:30, we're taking a quick break, but when we come back, we still have business and sports.
I'm a doctor. She's a patient. It's my duty to treat her.
There's no drug in the world that can speed up her recovery.
If she can't control her anger, I'm afraid that not even time will work.
So it should be phlegm retention and yin damage.
Nonsense!
This bitterness is unbearable. This is the best you can do? Give them 20 lashes each. Get them out of here!
But what happened yesterday was a big mistake.